Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is actually going to be a continuation or part two of the review for the core 10% instant tent or just instant tent in general. This is actually over the Columbus Day weekend, and I was able to do the full setup for 2 nights, 3 days. And honestly, in my opinion, it turned out pretty good. It was um, a lot more comfortable, a lot more spacious than what I'm used to, as I mentioned prior. I'm used to just the smaller tents for myself and just going camping in general. But obviously, like with the family now, we were going looking for more for comfort as opposed to convenience. All in all, results were kind of scattered. I kind of mentioned in the video, but there was actually three of us that got the tent. All same tent, same site, same product. So it was actually a very good review. I feel like good sample size, and I think all three of us had our own um, experiences with it. I'll start off by me saying, for me, it was much nicer than what I anticipated. It was I was once again I was never really into the really large tents. I've actually made fun of people that have had such big tents. I was like, what's the point of it? You're camping, not moving in or anything like that to like a house or whatever. But surprisingly, I really love the big space, especially with the 3-year-old that loves to run around and kind of roll all over the place. It gave him a place to escape from the wind and some rain that we experienced over the weekend. Some of the concerns that I had, especially because I do a lot of beach camping, is that I wasn't sure how the big tent would do against wind. And I feel like it held up great. I think that there was a lot more noise than what I would have experienced in a smaller tent, just because of it was catching a little bit more wind because of the square structure of it. The original stock 6 8 inch steel pegs held up fine. They held up really well. It didn't get unplugged or anything like that, so that was great. Secondly, the I was worried about the cold temperatures. I think at nights it was hitting upper 40s, maybe mid 50s. It ranged kind of throughout the days. But believe it or not, it was actually very warm. If you see the video, you'll notice that it's mesh all over on the top, and there's large windows all around, and also there's vents on the bottom edges of the tent. So I thought, although ventilation is great, I was kind of concerned that the cold air might get in a little too much and make it very cold. It might have been also that I did have a pretty good air mattress and air pads, I guess, sleeping pads that were kind of lined to keep me warm. So that might have made the difference there. First night I slept with base layers on, medium base layers on, but the second night I had to just kind of just wear my typical shorts and t-shirt going to bed because it was just too hot. So the wind and the temperature were not issues. Rain, it didn't really downpour, so I don't have a really good review on that. But at least for the drizzle and the little bits of rain that we did get, Rainfly did its job. It helped kept it out, so no issues there. I really love the little sitting area that we had, the little den up front, the little porch, I guess, seating. It was great because since that we did have all that wind, it actually kept our shoes and some other supplies that I didn't have to have in the tent out of the wind and out away from all the sand that was blowing around, and also the rain that did come by. So I think that was a very nice addition to what I'm used to with the smaller tents. Yeah, all in all, I just I my personal experience was that is actually very good. Um, I was not able to get comments from the other two guys, so at the end of this video, I'll add in a few more remarks of what they've told me about how they felt, and and yeah, and just give you input on that at the end of this video. But my personal experience, I was actually very surprised at how much I liked it. And the use of it was actually very comfortable. Yeah, without any much more explanation, we'll get into this video. I'm actually starting with the setup of the outside patio area, because I did not get that part in for when I first initially set it up, at my house. So I'll start there, and I'll get into some of the air mattress that I bought, and just to it was actually pretty neat. I liked it. I like the concept of it. So I have two different air mattresses. Well, one is actually an older style with a pump. The other one is actually a cool another method of pumping the mattress that I got. Is just like it has a bag that you fill the air with, so it's actually pretty neat. Yeah, let's just get into it, and you guys could just comment with how you guys feel about it. If you guys want me to go in any more detail about anything, just let me know, and I'll try to cover it as best as I can.
24 minutes straight out of the box. I only continued from the little cabin area. Try to figure some things out. Obviously, I didn't read the instructions as I stated before. Um, it's a lot of straps, so I don't know about the whole you know I forget what they uh, advertise, but it takes a little longer than what it is advertised, I believe. It probably doesn't help that it's really windy out here. Also, you saw me try to kind of wrestle with it. I was doing it by myself at first. So I think definitely two-person is recommended, but it is doable by yourself for the most part. I didn't really get the footprint for this tent. I wasn't able to, so I just used a regular blue tarp. Doesn't fit perfectly, so I might not be able to peg the middle center peg here in the middle, um, because unless I want to puncture it, but I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is for now. I did get some sand spikes because it was supposed to be kind of windy. I'm just gonna use the regular standard pegs first, see how that goes. If it loosens up, I might have to upgrade to the sand spikes. And I can actually show you guys later what that is. I got mine from REI. They're actually not bad. I'll show you guys how to use that or what that is. I'm sure you guys can find instructions online. If not, you guys can comment below, and I'll show you guys how to use those sand spikes for windy conditions or even snow winter camping if you do. It's not my cup of tea, but if you guys do that, it is made for snow as well. Um, but yeah, I think this is the full setup. I'll let you guys know how it goes at the end of it all. See how I like it, see how I don't like it, and I'll give you my honest opinion at the end of it. The funny thing is, I actually have two other friends. Else actually is one of them. He actually got the same tank, but yeah, we will actually have three recommendations, whether they're good or bad, across the board. So I think we'll have a good sample size.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging in this long. If you guys are still there, trying to get, or if you fast forwarded to this point, but yeah. So for the final verdict, I feel like just for me, it was a great tent. It performed well. It served its purpose for the family. I thought it was awesome, and it performed flawlessly for me. And the reason why I emphasize the whole me portion is that we did have varying experiences between the three of us. One of us actually had issues. I think that when he was just putting it together and trying it out at home, he might have forced the hinges. I mentioned in my previous video that I was concerned about the mechanical joints of this tent. If it breaks on you, then you're kind of stuck. Whereas like the traditional tent, it's all kind of spigot ends, so it is less likely to break or fail on you. So he actually ended up with a broken hinge and also one of the loopholes where the stakes go. He said that he actually ended up breaking one of them. So he kind of did not have the most ideal experience, although he did kind of admit that it might have been self inflicted. So that's the experience he had. But obviously, dry, everything else performed pretty well for the most part. Um, Now, the one other person, so he did not have any mechanical issues, but his main issue was the wind. I know I told you that I had no problems, but I think it was the lay of his land, of his camp lot. It just did not allow him to position his tent in a way that's was secure and sound. If you see the lot that I was placing my tent on, it was actually pretty wide, so I was able to take my lanyards way out and hold it down and pretty good and pretty stable. His lot was a lot smaller, so he was not able to extend the lanyards quite as far, and did not even actually get a lot of those lanyards in at all because it was just so tight where he was at. Um, so he experienced a lot of movement, especially because of the wind, and he also actually experienced part of the tent kind of caving in, not collapsing, but kind of pushing in because of the heavy winds. And what ended up also happening was that the rain fly was catching a lot of wind as well. Yeah, it was just a lot of movement. It did not feel secure, and it was just it wasn't the way it should have been set up. I think, and I think it's mostly due to the lot size and the shape of his lot. Um, Another thing that he did experience was that I mentioned that there were air vents on the very side ends of the tent. Um, he noticed that since he had the air vents facing the wind and on one side, he noticed that there was actually sand coming in and kicking in through that air vent because it is so low to the ground. So I could show you the features later on if you guys would like, but there is actually a bungee pull tie that you can pull tight to kind of keep most of that out. Um, but but he said that it was just because the direction that his tent was facing, he was still getting some sand kicked in through the side there. Once again, I did not have that issue, but I think it was just the luck of the draw of my lot, and I was able to secure it a lot better where I was. And I don't think any of these guys used a footprint, so that could have actually caused more exposure to the sand as well. The tent itself, I think a lot of us, all three of us, agree that it did work and function, but obviously the struggles were real for a couple of us. Um, but yeah, so I know that this doesn't really direct you. If you were to ask me, I'd say that it's a great tent. Don't expect it to build it that fast. It's not going to be an instant tent. It probably is less work than putting all the stakes and everything together, but it does take time. It does take time. It won't be something that just goes up just that quick. It will take a little bit of time, but I think the overall build of the tent itself, I'm actually uh, liking the purchase. So just be careful. So if I were to give out some advice, be careful when you're unpacking and packing, so that you're not twisting any of these hinges. You really got to be aware of the wind, I guess, direction, so to speak. Or I do feel like the bungee should keep the sand out pretty good because if the air is really blowing down, it should actually push the material flat against the vent. So it shouldn't let that much stuff in. But I couldn't tell you because I did not experience it quite yet. Um, but and also the last thing I would say is I really do recommend the footprint. It's easier to clean up. It's easier to it's actually I feel like it protects the tent a little more. Thanks again for watching, and we appreciate any support that you guys give. So yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, leave questions, leave remarks, advice, anything. We like it all. So that we're constantly growing and learning as a channel, as people. But we'd also like to extend our advice and our experiences to you guys as well. So yeah, definitely let us know anything that comes across your mind. But until next time, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys later.